Welcome to the Aviation Pros Podcast, the go-to platform for professionals in the aviation industry. Powered by AviationPros.com, the leading source for comprehensive news, insights, and data on airport operations. Whether you're focused on airport management, improvement programs, ground handling, equipment, MRO, or FBO operations, we've got you covered with the expertise and resources you need to stay ahead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Aviation Pros Podcast. I'm Emily Gorski, editor of Aircraft Maintenance Technology, and I'm here today with two franchise owners at RealClean Aircraft Detailing, Elisabeth Dickinson and Lindsay Parrott. With Elisabeth covering Central North Carolina and Lindsay covering Missouri, their RealClean franchises service more than 47 airports across the United States. Today, we're here to talk about how different career paths can lead to in the aviation industry and how women can thrive in high-level roles in aviation and beyond. To get started, would each of you like to tell me a little bit about your backgrounds? Elisabeth, would you like to start?
Sure, absolutely. So I come from the background in talent acquisition and talent management. So have worked with large companies here in North Carolina that are global and have worked with agencies as well. So it's given me the opportunity to work with a lot of different industries, a lot of different types of people, positions, roles. So it's really set me up well in my career path and where we are now with RealClean.
Awesome. Thank you. And Lindsay?
Yeah. So my background is real estate property management. I have had my real estate license for 8 years now, and my husband and I own several rental properties. So a lot of problem solving, which has also helped with RealClean. Lots of problem solving when it comes to aircraft detailing.
Yes, definitely. And I also wanted to ask Elisabeth if any of your roles in talent acquisition and staffing have helped give you insight into the labor situation in aviation. So with kind of the shortages, especially in aviation maintenance.
Yeah, absolutely. So my talent acquisition experience hasn't been in aviation, but I've been able to pull a lot from my background. So my background is in really the private equity space, high growth companies. And so maybe that's what attracted me to RealClean. Part of it is that high growth space. So I think definitely there are parallels, that war for talent. You mentioned it in that maintenance and really in trades, right? That is an area that is shrinking and there's that shortage. So there's that war for talent, truly, to find people and retain people, especially women. You know, that's something we talk a lot about. How can we pull women into this business? Really in all realms of it, you know, from maintenance to operators to pilots to owners. I think there's a real opportunity in that. And I think something we are starting to see shift a bit, and I think RealClean has been and plays a pivotal part of that. Obviously, Lindsay and I are examples of that. So really just hope to continue to help drive that and see that grow in our time here, you know, for me specifically in North Carolina, but across the country.
Yes, that's great. And we're definitely going to touch on women's roles and growth in aviation in a bit. But I also had a question for Lindsay on your background. You mentioned problem solving for sure, but are there any other skills from your work in real estate that have been useful in the aviation industry?
Yeah, honestly, almost all of them translate, except for knowing literally nothing about aviation going into it, but constantly learning. Real estate is constant problem solving, you know, scheduling, inspection issues arise, high emotion. You're dealing with large ticket items, and same with aviation, you know, multi-million-dollar aircraft and maintenance and schedule shift. Maybe the aircraft is down for a while and we need to shuffle some things around. So yeah, a lot of it translate. And then of course, just relationship building. That's a huge aspect of it. So yeah, it's very similar.
That's very cool. And I'm going to ask you both a bit about your experiences with RealClean. But before I dive into that, I just wanted to see, have either of you ever worked in aviation or aircraft detailing before you pursued this role?
No, this is a first for me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same as well. Have not been in the aviation world at all.
So what led both of you to being franchise owners at RealClean? Lindsay, do you want to start this one?
Yeah, sure. So my husband owns 2 dental practices, which are also franchises, and he's kind of starting to get burnt out, overworking. So we both thought it'd be really cool to own a business together and build something together. So that's when we kind of started to explore franchising, and then we met the RealClean team and really started to dive into that. And, we saw a need for it in the area, and we saw that it was just a very scalable business model, very streamlined. The brand is fantastic. And just really a need here. Here in Missouri, we have competition for sure. It's just a lot of smaller mom and pop aircraft detailing. So once we started to dive in, we went to confirmation day. We met Dustin, the founder, and Luke, and we just kind of fell in love with the brand. We loved everything that it had to offer, and we've been really excited to just dive in, learn a new industry, and just take it on to the next level.
I love that. That's amazing. And Elisabeth?
Very similar, honestly. My husband and I wanted to go into business together. He had just finished his MBA, and so really had that drive. And I was looking to take my career to that next level and do something different and stretch my brain a little bit. So we started looking into opportunities. We wanted to have something that could be here in the community to really expand our network, employ people here in the area, and RealClean came about, and it took us by surprise, if I'm being honest. And my husband grew up in kind of aviation with his family. We have several friends that are pilots, so that was neat. We definitely did our due diligence and talked with our friends that are pilots and in private aviation, and they really echoed that need for quality detailing services. And I think, to echo what Lindsay said, those relationships, that is something that I think we're really passionate about. And I think that when we went to confirmation day and met Dustin and Luke, they reiterated that as well. And that made me feel great just about the founders and what they want RealClean to stand for, national level and local level, and really just their commitment to this space as a whole, not just the services, but the products. So one of the things that they said to us is, if we're doing the same thing and using the same products in 12, 18 months from now, we're not doing it right. We need to continually improve and develop. And I just thought that was amazing, right? And so it's been wonderful for us to get into this community and meet people. And there's competition out there, but I think that those relationships that we're building are really what's the most powerful. And so that doesn't scare us.
Yes, I love to hear that. Yes, I spoke with Dustin as well a while back, and he was so great to talk to. So thinking about being an owner-operator of a franchise, what does your day-to-day look like?
So I'll go. No 2 days are the same. That's what I love about it. Every day is different, and that's kind of how real estate was. Some days, I'm deep into operations, running payroll, scheduling, writing up some quotes. Other days, I'm on the ground at FBOs, building relationships, checking on our team. At this stage, I'm very hands-on, very involved. I like to know what's happening, and I love meeting all of the aircraft owners and pilots. It's been really fun to develop those relationships and just kind of watch us build something from the ground up. It's been a lot of fun.
That sounds very fun. Yes. And Elisabeth?
Absolutely. No 2 days are the same. You think you can have your plan for a day, but you get pulled in another direction, whether it's a need from the team or an owner calls you. Often we have quick turn services that we need to provide. So it's all about scheduling and prioritizing, and where's the team? Where do they need to go? What are those time frames? So definitely spending a lot of time on that, really making sure we can deliver for our clients. So it is that mix of being at the FBOs, the MROs. I think one of the things that is really exciting to me is how now we're really looking at detailing as part of maintenance. It's not just to make it look good, but it's a part of that maintenance. So how can we partner with those MROs? How can we really share that with this community of making their plane not just look good, but then it's going to run better. Their asset is protected for the long run. To echo Lindsay, heavy in the operations, just those relationships. And one of the fun things as well, in fact, this morning, my husband and I saw a clip on the news about the Masters in Augusta and just all the private planes that are there and just the expanding private aviation space. And so that's something here as well. We're a big college basketball area, so definitely seeing how those events are bringing in folks in private planes, private jets, and how that spikes our business. So really keeping in touch with what's going on in our community and what's going to drive that traffic here locally, and then in turn our business. So that's fun to keep an eye on and see how we can kind of jump into those local events and make an impact.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It sounds like you do a lot of very cool, fun stuff there. So I was wondering, what do each of you enjoy most about being a RealClean owner?
Yeah, honestly, learning a new industry. We both don't come from the aviation background, and it's really is a new world. So it's been very, very fun. It's a different language almost. And also building a business from the ground up, as I mentioned earlier, it's been really satisfying to watch it grow. It feels like every month there's a new milestone and problem solving. Every day is different, like I said, and I love that. And I truly value the relationships, and it's really nice knowing that somebody with a multi-million-dollar plane trusts you with that aircraft. That's not a small feat, and becoming the go-to detailer is very rewarding, especially when they have been using somebody else for a while and then they switch it because they see more value from us. It's really a great feeling. And building our own team, watching them grow in the business and becoming leaders and just love and passionate about what they do. It's really awesome. That's probably one of my favorite parts.
That is awesome, yes. And Elisabeth?
It is, not to keep harping on this, but the relationships. I was told as we were looking at RealClean and when we got to confirmation day and meeting Dustin and Luke that it is a small industry. It's relationship driven. Your credibility, what you say matters. Delivering on that matters. And so I think it is meeting new folks and being able to lead with authenticity in that we really do want to partner and help them. And I think it's so fun to meet owners and hear the stories behind their planes or their charters or whatever brought them to the aviation space, because I think once you kind of get a taste of this aviation space, it grabs hold of you. You don't want to leave. And that's just what I hear over and over. And even this week, we had a job out at an FBO cleaning a gentleman's plane. And then he was so impressed. He took us back in his hangar and showed us his old vintage military plane and, really asking us our opinion on it and how to help him refurbish it. And so I think just that people open up to you and those stories just is very rewarding. I think, too, building the team and building something has been more rewarding than I anticipated. I think specifically with the team, having folks that want to be in aviation and stay in it and have a passion for it and really see them light up. They will finish a job and just tell us how cool it was. Like they'd seen these planes from afar, but never been on one. And so it's neat that we've brought something to people that they can wake up and get excited about every day. And that's really, really unique, I think, and really special.
Yes, I totally agree. And for my last few questions, I wanted to go back to what we were talking about earlier, that Elisabeth mentioned women in the workforce. So you are both women who have done amazing things in your careers. You've done a lot. And I was wondering, what have your experiences been like as women in high-level leadership roles at an aviation company?
Yeah, it's definitely, a male-dominated industry. But honestly, it's been positive. I think if you show up confident and consistent and competent, people respect that and you're able to earn their trust fairly fast. And I think it brings a different energy, and I think it makes it fun. Once they see that you actually know what you're talking about, or at least you're willing to learn anything and everything, I feel like that definitely changed the dynamic. And I think sometimes, maybe we're a little bit underestimated, but sometimes that kind of can go to our advantage sometimes. So yeah, I've had a positive experience, and I think honestly, maybe it's opening up more doors than maybe we had anticipated.
Yes, that's really great to hear. Definitely. And Elisabeth?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Lindsay. It's been really positive. Again, I may have said this before, but I think one of the things about RealClean is we have so many female owners, and that was really exciting. And so we have internally as a company, a really great support with our male coworkers and colleagues as well. But just as females in the industry, just from that core has been fantastic. And I'm energized to see, more females that are managing FBOs or regional FBOs and really climbing the ladder. So I think we'll continue to see that. So it has been a positive experience, and showing an interest and showing them that we know what we're talking about and we know what we need to do to help them. And that confidence, I think, has been really important. And again, to Lindsay's point, I think maybe it's been more advantageous for us than we anticipated. A little breath of fresh air, that different energy and excitement, I think, as well. So I think having a new lens on things and maybe being fresh into aviation has been wonderful.
Yes, definitely. And that kind of leads into another question I had, which is, how do you think aviation organizations can respond to these gender gaps in the industry that still exist?
Yeah, like Elisabeth said, RealClean has done an amazing job with the amount of women we have in this space, in this organization. So many female owners and women detailing. It's pretty amazing. And I know Dustin and Luke are pretty proud of how many women we do have in this space. I think it starts with exposure. I think a lot of women don't realize that there is so much opportunity in the aviation space, and I think it is just viewed as a male-dominated industry. So I think creating some exposure, whether it's on the operations side, service side, whatever that looks like, but more visibility, you can't pursue what you don't see.
That's great. Thank you. Yes. And Elisabeth?
Absolutely. I think it is all about that representation. And if women don't see it, it's harder for them to pursue it. So I think early exposure, getting high schoolers in to FBOs to show them. We had a client who had his kids' class out to see their fleet. And I think that's wonderful. I know a lot of universities and community colleges have the programs. I think just continuing to link arms with that is important. I think too, Lindsay and I don't want to call it our second act, but being able to pivot into aviation, if you have that love and passion, you can do it. Right. So allowing opportunities for folks to come in and let that grab hold of them is wonderful. And we have a wonderful team member who is female, and she comes to work every day and rocks it. And that was really important to me, to have representation on our team so that when we're out in the hangars, folks see that. Again, our little part, what we can do to show women in aviation is important.
Definitely. And it makes a big difference for sure to see that. And I have one more big question for you both, kind of in the same vein, but what advice would you have for young women who may want to enter the aviation industry, whether they've been thinking about it for a long time or like you both were in something else and are thinking of pivoting? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, my advice would be don't be intimidated. Aviation, it is intimidating, especially with it being a male-dominated industry. Aviation can kind of feel like its own big exclusive club. It's really not. Everybody's very nice and friendly, and so many great stories of pilots and aircraft owners just wanting to show us their planes and talk their stories. And everybody's so friendly. You don't have to grow up around planes. You don't have to have the perfect aviation background, the father of a pilot, anything like that. If you're willing to work hard, there's absolutely a space for you. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of opportunity, whether you want to be a detailer, a pilot, maybe manage an FBO. I just think women bring a fresh perspective, some fun energy, and, hey, if you're a single woman out there, there are some good looking pilots. So it could be fun out there for you.
There you go. That's awesome. Thank you. That's perfect. And Elisabeth?
Yes, I think go for it, right? Don't let fear be the reason that's holding you back in anything, right? You're able to learn this. It will bring you in. I think find a mentor. Find your local RealClean and reach out to the owner. Any one of us would be happy to talk to you about our business, about aviation in general, about connecting you to anything that you're interested, anyone in the business. I think we're all here to help each other. And so take advantage of that and walk into an FBO and introduce yourself and get to know people. I think you will be surprised at how friendly and welcoming everyone is. And if you say that you're interested in aviation, they're going to help you and they're going to share their knowledge and help get you to where you want to be.
Thank you. That's awesome. Yes. And those were really all the big questions I had for you both. But is there anything else either of you would like to touch on before we go?
If anybody's ever interested in going RealClean, it's been great so far. We're both 5, 6, 7 months in, and we're seeing the slow exponential growth, and it's been awesome.
Yes, and we appreciate you highlighting women in aviation and RealClean. Not to sound cheesy, but it really has just blown us away being a part of this company and this industry, and it's wonderful. I was scared to go into it, and I was like, we're just going to take this jump. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to jump. We're going to work hard. And it has been a wonderful ride.
Amazing. And thank you. And thank you both for being here today. It's been so amazing to talk to you. Such a lovely time. And best of luck with both of your businesses and everything.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Aviation Pros Podcast, produced by Endeavor Business Media, a division of Endeavor B2B. Stay ahead in airport operations and leadership by subscribing to our Airport Business Daily newsletter and our monthly Airport Business Insider newsletter, only available to key decision makers in aviation. And don't forget to explore even more at AviationPros.com, the home of exclusive content for aviation professionals like yourself. I'm Joe Petrie. We'll catch you next time.